So I probably shouldn't be filming today because I am tired, I'm hungry, I am irritable, and I feel like for the past 2 weeks I have spontaneously wanted to cry every single second of my life. But that's relatable, so we're gonna film anyways. Today we are going to be doing my December TBR, and I am going through something right now in my personal life, so things are just not as organized as I normally have them be. As you've probably noticed, some of my videos have been late recently by a few hours to a day. I apologize, but they are coming out, and I know that very shortly, meaning after Thanksgiving, everything's going to be back on track. So please stick with me and just forgive me a little bit right now. The reason why I'm mentioning that is I wrote out my TBR list, but it's stuck inside of the book I am currently reading. So I'm gonna be holding this instead of my normal journal to look at the books that I'll be reading in December. I'm not necessarily recommending that you read this book. I mean, it's great and you should read it. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm holding it because that's where my notes are. Yeah, please don't make me cry. Also, my hair is like really voluminous today. Let's get started. The books that I'm currently reading are White is for Witching by Helen Omiyemi, is how you say her name, and then Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I should have both of those done before December though, and I'm hoping to accomplish a few more books, but since I'm filming this as of November 23rd and reading is just kind of iffy right now for me, I'm just gonna put all the books that I hope to read between December 23rd and the end of November 23rd and the end of December into this video. So it's kind of like the end of November TBR plus all of December. Also in December, I will be taking 2 weeks off of work, which is absolutely amazing, and I totally need it. One of those weeks I will be up in the cabin in the woods with my family. That sounds terrifying. We're gonna be renting a cabin. There's gonna be like 6 of us. It's going to be in a lovely vacation, but I probably won't get much reading done. I'm hoping to accomplish like 2 books that week. The week before that, I am going to be just at home. I think I have like a few doctor's appointments, but other than that, I am at home. So I'm hoping to accomplish a ton of reading then. I'm not worried about accomplishing my Goodreads goal. I'm just worried about never reading again because I'm in the mood. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about is my book club book. So this month we have picked to read The Starless Sea by Morgan Ariston. Oh my god, Erin Morgenstern. It is a favorite of mine. I did read it earlier this year and I am so psyched to be reading it again. I'm so thrilled. I'm so glad that my book club picked it and that I'm going to be rereading it. I will be listening to the audiobook because I have it and I think the audiobook is absolutely beautiful and amazing, but I have the physical book, so I think I'm going to tab while we're going through so that I can remember to talk about different things. So this is following a boy named something. What is he named? A boy named Zachary, and one day in a library he finds a book that is basically telling the story of his life, and so he takes it home and starts reading it, and crazy adventures ensue, and the whole entire book is a metaphor. There's these stories and folklore that are told throughout the book, which are part of the book that he's reading, and then we're also reading about him, and then we're also reading about his life through the book. It's really cool. It's really weird. It's really funky. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people love it. I love it. It's a 5-star. I won't shut up about this book. After that, we are also going to be reading together the book Who Fears Death. I did order my copy. It hasn't shown up yet, hopefully very shortly, because I'm really excited to be reading it. I don't know exactly what this is about, but I know that the author is a Black woman and the main character is a Black woman, and then it's going to be tragic. There's going to be lots of hard gripping things to deal with in the book. It is a fantasy story, but I think it's more magical realism than it is fantastical. I'm not totally sure. Stick with me through the end of the month and I'll tell you more about it then. I have 3 books that I'm going to be getting from my library and I'm so excited about that. I'm going to be getting Ring Shout, which is by P. Djeli Clark, which is an author I have loved and is an author who I've hated. So I'm hoping that this is another one I love. I don't know anything about it. I just know it was written by him, so I'm picking it up. And then I'm going to be getting Ready Player 2, which I also don't know anything of what it's about, but I read Ready Player 1 a long time ago. I'm hoping to reread it before Ready Player 2 comes out, and then I'm going to be reading Ready Player 2. I'm excited, nervous. After that, I'm going to be reading A Sky Beyond the Storm, which is the 4th book for Sabaa Tahir's What is the series called? I don't know what the series is called, but the first book is An Ember in the Ashes, which I just reread all 3 of those, and then the 4th one is coming out in December, and I'm so psyched. So the 4th one is purple, and I love purple. Hopefully it'll be my favorite one yet. I doubt it. Number 2 was really good for me. Now, my biggest goal for December and November has been to knock off as many books that I own so that I can go into the new year having not a ton of owned, not read books, but I unfortunately kind of failed. Part of me going through it the past few weeks means that I did do some retail therapy. So unfortunately, my number has gone up. As of this moment, I do have 29 books on my own not read shelf, which I know is low for some people, is high for others, whatever. It's me. I'm judging myself versus past me. As of I think it was in the beginning of November, I had like 28, and as of like a week or 2 ago, I had like 23. So I'm kind of disappointed that that number is just fluctuating in the 20s. I really wanted it to get down to 15 before the end of the year, and I still might be able to do it. The rest of the books on my list of books to read are from my owned, not read shelf. That's what I'm trying to get to. This is what that looks like. Oh my god, there's so many. Do have some audiobooks, so I guess that's not even all of it, and I do have some arcs that I need to be getting to, so that's also still not all of it. The first one I'm going to be reading, which is an audiobook, is The Troop by Nick Cutter. I know it's a horror, I know it's really graphic, I know that it's going to keep me up at night and it's going to make me squeamish, and that lots of people are uncomfortable with it because of how effective in the horror genre it is, and so I'm really excited to be reading it. I have the audiobook. I think it's about a group of boys and a stranger meets them and he has a disease. That might not be what the book is about, but it might also be what the book is about. If you watched one of my most recent videos where I tried a chapter of all the books I own but haven't read yet, I tried a chapter of a lot of books, and basically in December I'm trying to get to the ones that I am most excited about / I think I can accomplish because they're shorter. So first off of that list is going to be The Phlebotomist, which I tried a chapter of and I really enjoyed it. It's outside of my comfort zone, it's outside of my normal reading area, and I still really enjoyed it. I liked the writing, I felt like it was accessible, I felt like it was easy, and I felt like I was pulled into the story, so I'm going to be giving this one a shot in December. So this is following a woman. She's a mom. First off, I love fantasy sci-fi books about moms. This is a sci-fi book though, in a not too distant future where the government collects blood from people, and that is how you earn your living, earn your income, is you sell your blood. And so people sell their blood for way more than they can give to basically make ends meet. And so this woman that we're following is one of the blood collectors, and on this day that we're following her, something goes wrong, but some manager in a higher position like kind of helps her cover it up and lets it go just fine so that she's not like screwed over basically. And I think we're going to be starting to follow her figuring out some secrets about him, and I just have this weird vibe that it's going to be a vampire book because like blood collecting, but I have no proof on that. I haven't even checked on Goodreads genre list if it's there or not. Hopefully gonna be getting to this very shortly. Also, it's pink, and that was like 90% of the reason why I bought it. I mean, I picked it up in Barnes & Noble and I read the first few pages and I was like, yeah, this is really interesting. I like this. But pink, like just, oh, it's so nice and it stands out so well. And unfortunately, when it goes on my shelf, you won't see any of that. The next, oh, these are all upside down. The next book that I hope to be reading, and if I can get this one, I'm really hoping I can also get the sequel and the third done as well, is The Thousand Deaths of Arden Ben. If you watched that video, you know that I really loved this, that this was my favorite one that I picked up from that list. So we are following a man who is a con artist, and where I'm at, that's really all you know from chapter 1, but from reading the summary, I do know that he is hired to steal something from the king, kill some king, do something with the king. He's basically hired to do this huge con, and I'm really excited because I love heist books, I love heist movies, I love heists. Can someone hire me to do a heist? I'd probably really suck at it, but I think it'd be fun reading this book, not doing a heist, although doing a heist might be fun. It always like grows the team together better, and everyone's just has a good old time, and then they separate at the end, and that part makes me kind of sad. Okay, don't hire me to do a heist because I'm going to want to stay in touch with you, and we need to split if we steal millions. Why did I just say that like that? Anyways, so con artist, he's cool, he's sassy, he's funky. This book is huge. You know how I like my fantasy. After or before or anytime around that, I make that joke every single time I do a TBR, let's be real. I'm hoping to be picking up, let's see if I can actually pick it up, The Ravens, which, damn, I need to take that sticker off. I bought this book because I walked by it in Barnes & Noble, and oh my god, it is so pretty. I just, look at it, don't look at me. It's so pretty. I love it. I literally was like, please, if you are even close to anything I like, I'm going to buy you and put you on my shelf, even if I hate you while I'm reading you, because you're so pretty. So I know that this is the Barnes & Noble book club YA pick of the month. Now I know what this book is about. I did some research on it while I was standing in my Barnes & Noble ready to buy it. So we are going to be following a sorority where every single girl in this sorority, I believe it's urban, modern, fantasy, like contemporary times, but it's a fantasy. Every single girl in the sorority is a witch, but not every single girl knows that she's a witch. And like, I think we're going to be following a few different POVs, and some of them know and some of them don't know. And I'm like super thrilled about that. I don't know. You're going to notice because the next 2 books that I'm going to be picking up are also witch books. I'm just in kind of like a witchy vibe, and also Black Sun had some witches in it. Oh, and then White is for Witching. I don't know what's going on with me and witches, but I'm really excited to be picking this one up. This is the one that I hope to actually be reading before December rolls around, but I don't know if I can do it. After that, I'm going to be buddy reading with a dear friend of mine, Kingdom of the Wicked, which is just beautiful. I wasn't wanting to read this because I was afraid it was going to be like super stereotypical YA, girl meets boy, falls in love, there's some kind of fantasy plot, right? But I've been doing my research on it. Is his jaw in the wrong place? Y'all, I need you to go home and look at this snake on your covers and tell me if his jaw or his teeth. It's his teeth. His teeth are photoshopped on. They are definitely not his teeth. Oh my god, that's really bad once you notice it too. Anyways, I've only heard good things about this book, and it has like a 4.2 on Goodreads, and like people are loving it. And when I looked at, I got another sticker. When I looked into like the subgenres of it, romance wasn't listed. So I was like, okay, maybe there is like girl falls in love with boy, but it's gonna be like so minor that I think I'm going to enjoy the rest of this book more. So what I understand this book to be about is that there are twins. There are two girls, I hope it's girls, who are twins. Yes, twin sisters. And one of them dies or is murdered or is killed. And then the other one is basically investigating her. And she teams up with this magician who is one of the princes of hell. And he helps her solve the murder. But he seems to have ulterior motives. Heck, this sounds so good. I also really love that they kind of did some illustrations on the chapters. I think that's really pretty. There's some like illustrations in between things. I think that this book was just really treated as a piece of artwork like it should be. I also love purple, like we have already mentioned, so I'm really happy that this is purple, and I've already decided that if I love this book, I'm going to be painting my edges. After that, the final witch book that I'm hoping to be reading is going to be The Year of the Witching, which is part of that video that I keep mentioning. So I have read a chapter of this book, although I don't have it marked off for some. Oh, I do, it's in there. 15 pages of this book already, so I can tell you a brief little bit of what this book is about. First off, I'm really excited because this is a YA fantasy, but it is written by a Black woman about a Black woman. Are you guys noticing a trend? I really love this diversity in books where it's written by a woman of color about her specific cultural, ethnic group. I love it. I feel like I'm really getting to learn about cultures and diversity in ways that I never would have gotten to if I hadn't read all these books or if these authors hadn't been published. And I think that it's absolutely amazing, and I think that publishers should go out of their way to make sure that they have diversity in their publishings, because I grew up being able to see myself in characters in books all the time, and seeing not myself in characters or seeing other types of characters is in no way harming me, but it is benefiting so many different people. And I'm gonna cry because I'm spontaneously crying recently. Anyways, basically what I'm saying is I'm loving it, and I'm so glad that diversity is starting to come to fantasy, even if it's just coming through YA fantasy at the moment really strong. I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad that people can start to see themselves. And I'm gonna stop rambling because this isn't a place for me to speak. I feel like this is an environment where people of color should be the ones speaking on how amazing it is for them to be able to see themselves now in literature. So I'm gonna talk to you about The Year of the Witching. I was about to say White is for Witching. No, The Year of the Witching. So from the little bit that I've read / the synopsis, I know that this book is about this one girl who lives in this like how do you say, Puritan, is that the word? Puritan town, Puritan times, and they are like a witchy cult religious group. This whole entire town, like the main I don't know his word, but like priest of the town is like married to multiple women, and he has like some type of abilities that pass down to his son when he dies, and the main girl I think is gonna get with the son just based off the first chapter. And she's kind of an outcast. She doesn't get along with people super well. She's just kind of other. I think they said something about her never having her period, so she can't get married. I think that was this book. Anyways, I'm really curious to continue on with it. I want to read it. I want to support the author. I'm so excited. After that, is this the final book I have? Nope, I have two-ish more. I have way more books that I want to read in December, but I have 2 more for your list. So after that, I am hoping to be picking up Thorn, but I never attempt to pronounce this author's name, but I'm going to do it in this video, and I just really apologize if I get your name wrong because I should have looked it up beforehand. Intisar Kanani. So I just kicked a book. I have read, oh god, they're too high for me. Okay, I have read Sunbolt by this author, and it is one of my favorite books ever. It's really short, and it's also weirdly a vampire book, and I hate vampire books, so it's weird that I love this one, but I highly recommend checking it out. And then I actually started Memories of Ash this month in November, but I was in a really funky mood, and it was kind of ruining the book for me, so I put it on pause for a little bit. I am planning on getting back into it in 2021, but I'm just going to take some time away from it. But it wasn't so much the writing or anything like that, it was honestly me. So I'm going to be picking up the author's other work, which is Thorn, which is a retelling of the Goose Girl, which I know like nothing about the Goose Girl. I think she turns into a goose and then like a prince has to save her, maybe, question mark. One princess, 2 fates, one impossible choice. I know from the chapter that I read, because I also read this for the chapter challenge. I mean, all the books I owned at the time I read for the chapter challenge. Anyways, she is kind of an oddball in her family, and this king from this other realm comes, and it sounds like he's going to try to take her to marry his son. And it sounds like she doesn't want to do it, but she also wants to help her family because her family kind of doesn't like her because she's the oddball and she's weird, and they're like, come on, aren't you good for anything? Go marry this boy. So I have 4 or 5 arcs from NetGalley right now that are highly anticipated reads for me to be picking up, and they will all be released in 2021. I have actually talked about all of them except for one on this channel already, and so I'm hoping to be able to get to 1, if not 2 or 3 of them in the month of December. And I was going to talk to you about them, but I think it'd be more fun. I'm planning on doing a video for each and every one of them, so I think it'd be more fun for you just to be surprised and see which ones I get to in these next coming months. That was everything that I plan on reading. It was more than 10 this month because I normally stick to 10, and I've been doing like my synesthesia challenge. I forgot to mention this, but this month has just been kind of a struggle for me, so I decided to not do my synesthesia challenge and just let me read what I need to be reading and slash what I want to be reading. And I decided to do, I think it's like 11 books. Let me see. Oh no, it's 11 if you count. Okay, it's 11 books. So that's not like much more than 10, so I don't feel bad. Anyways, I'm rambling. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I know that my year is about to get a little bit better, so I hope that your year is also about to get a little bit better, and I hope that your hair is as voluminous as mine is right now, because we could all use a little bit more 1980s in our life. Am I right? Anyways, thanks for watching. I don't remember how my outro goes, but until next time, I'll talk to you all in the comments. Goodbye.